I'm about to go get to their stories in a minute here. Let me get to you where what this man was about first before I can go get this story out. These are all the pictures they have of Mr. Glenn Goins. There's one picture they have here. See, it's a photo of Goins and Scheider, who was seen wearing a diaper that was made out of some towels that he used to steal from a Holiday Inn all those years ago. That picture was so taken in the 70s, everybody was remembered. I mean, Glenn Goins. Glenn Goins is a guy. He grew up with the likes of what likes of Cordell Mosson and Gary Scheider especially, and another guy who had to be William Nelson Jr. So this man, he grew up with these guys. You know what I mean? They're all friends. They're all good friends. So even though they have going through on history here, okay, we're going through some photo albums here before I had to get to the story here. Okay, there's a photo of Goins when he had to perform. You know what I mean? Yeah, with the hat and the outfit that he had on, and he had a guitar. You know, he was a singer and a guitarist in his own right. Well, he's not even compared to the likes of Stevie Wonder, who was like, in no comparison to him, in no comparison to Stevie Wonder or the vocalist of the Gap band, Charles Wilson, who was a singer for the Gap band. I ain't gonna compare. I ain't gonna compare Glenn Goins to the likes of Stevie Wonder or Charlie Wilson. Charlie Wilson was an R&B singer. He was like a vocalist of the Gap band. Everybody remembers so much of him. You know, when he was in his heyday. I mean, the Gap band has been around since 1974, I think, and nobody else even remembered how these guys were. But but not about me. It's about it's about this man right here, Glenn Goins. See, they got a picture of him when he was way in Texas with the group. But that trademark guitar he had on his hand, and he ready to strum that thing like he was ready to go. They got another picture of him, you know what I mean, raising his hand up. You know, great shit, great shit. See, they got an old photo of him. He's wearing this rainbow like stripy like shirt, and he had on the fedora. He had on like a fedora or something, or not a fisherman hat. It was like a fedora. They had a picture here. Is There's little they had put together old photos of Goins. I mean, he had his name right there etched onto it. Got one side with him playing the guitar on stage, and got one with him uh, singing on the microphone, saying, I think I see the mothership coming, Lord. And then he rhyming with, I think I hear the mothership coming. Yeah, know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna sing that. They're gonna stop my singing voice. They got a photo of him right here that was on a record. It says the churchified tenor. You know what I'm saying? You know that man, Glenn had that voice. He had that voice he had. He had a gospel singer like voice that he had. He learned the gospel. And he got his picture here, and they got the other one here. It has the mothership. It has the mothership that he sings about in on stage in the show with George Clinton and a few of those other guys. See, they got other stuff here. The old photos they have of him there. There's a still shot of him when he started singing. I think I hear the mothership coming, and he started after he started singing. I think I see the mothership coming. This is him singing uh, on stage, even though he was on tour with them. It was 1976, 1977. It was he was on stage. His voice it touches a lot of people. The the I Want to Ride song, he did sing that though. There's a photo of him. There's a photo of him with the fedora that he had wore. I think he wore it with the jean jacket and I think it was some chains. But he learned the gospel. Right after he was leaving uh, Parliament, Funkadelic, he moved on to go tour with this group right here, Quasar. He had a job with Quasar because he felt that George was even paying him a X amount of money. He was owed money by George Clinton. Right after he died, they put out in remembrance photo here. They have his picture. That was from back in the old days. Yeah, they got other old photos they have. They had an old photo of him with the rest of the guys right there. See, George was already over there on stage. That was back in the old days. I don't know why he had that weird ass hat that he had on his head. You see, let me explain it to y'all. Shia LaBeouf, Shia LaBeouf, who was who was an actor. He had on some sort of weird ass looking hat that looks just looked like the one that George Clinton used to wear. But I did not even know that for some reason. There's the old photo they have of him alongside a few of the members. And there's an old photo they have right there of Parliament Funkadelic, P Funk. I think it was George Clinton. There's there's Gary Scheider. There's Kid Funkadelic, and there's somebody else. It looks just like them. It looks like P Funk, like Parliament Funkadelic. This photo was taken back in the old days before all this happened. That's a photo of him and I think it was Dawn Silva. It was Dawn Silva who was in The Brides of Funkenstein alongside Glenn Goins who have died, and there's George Clinton that's standing there. He had to point to whoever was taking the picture. So the story was so told at the time. We got an old photo they have of Funkadelic. Of Funkadelic. There's an old photo they have. I think it was Clarence Haskins who have died in 2023. There's an old photo they have of him. One with a few members. I think there was Grady Thomas. That's Grady. There's George. You know, with the outfit that he was wearing and the bad wig. I think he was wearing it. But some old photos and old memories they have of Glenn Goins. But let me go jump into this. I didn't get a chance to tell you anything else about this shit. About this shit. They got this old photo they have of Dawn Silva sporting a wedding dress for the Bride's album. It got etched onto a picture of Glenn mixed in with it. So I can't. It's like the Bride's album. Nobody else even knows who had it. Uh, Bigfoot. I almost forgot about Bigfoot. I know anything about it. Let me uh let me get the hell up out of these photo albums and go straight to Glenn. Okay, we're going to this story here about Mr. Glenn Lamont Goins. Uh, well, it was also spelled in some sources You know, the man was like a singer and a guitarist for Parliament Funkadelic in the mid 1970s. Goins is a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, posthumously posthumously inducted in 1997 with 15 other members of Parliament Funkadelic. Goins was born and raised in Plainfield, New Jersey, in a family of gospel musicians. His first known recordings were in 1972 as part of a group that was called the Bags, who were produced by a guy named Joey Ragaboy. Joey Ragaboy, whose real name was Jordan Ragaboy. That's his real name. Jordan Ragaboy was a songwriter and record producer who had wrote several pop songs. Singer Gary Marshall Scheider, who was like an associate of the Bags. It was like a group. And Scheider had introduced Goins to the leader of Parliament Funkadelic, George Edward Clinton. In 1974, Goins joined the collective and performed lead vocals and guitar on the albums by both Parliament and Funkadelic from 1975 to 1977. Goins was known particularly for his gospel inflected vocals while introducing the mothership prop during the concerts. But in 1977, Goins was one of the first prominent members of Parliament Funkadelic to leave to the disputes with Clinton's management company. And Goins had formed a funk band known as Quasar, and he began to record a debut album for Arista Records. Before the album was so completed, Goins died. Goins had died at the age of 24 from Hodgkin's lymphoma. Another former member of the Parliament Funkadelic collective, Jerome Bigfoot Braley, the guy right here, he helped complete the album and it was released several months later. It has one studio album that he had did with Quasar and Jerome Braley. It's a studio album that was of the same name. And this is where we're going to have to go for a minute. This is where we're going to have to go for a minute. And we're going to another member of the band, and we're going to have to take you to in a minute. There's some biography here. They got some stuff regarding him. Got some stuff regarding Glenn, and is retrieved between 2017 and retrieved this year. Uh, they got another reference that came from Christopher Needs. That was from 2022 all the way to this year. Had Get Off Your Ass and Jam. It was called the Ferociously funky story of Parliament Funkadelic that was retrieved. You got one from a guy named Andrew Hamilton. They mention about the biography and the discography and the albums and expert reviews about Quasar. That has since retrieved this year. The biography, the discography, and the albums and the expert reviews regarding Mutiny, it got retrieved the same way. All right, we're gonna go straight to Mr. Cordell Boogie Mosson. We're going straight to Mosson. This is where we're gonna take you to, folks. Well, Cordell Boogie Mosson, he was an American bassist and who was like a member of the Parliament Funkadelic Collective. He was given a Lifetime Achievement Award, Grammy, in 2019. Well, posthumously, posthumously they did. Masoon Masoon was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey, but he kind of grew up in Plainfield, New Jersey. He moved there from New Brunswick. We get to this little story here that we're going to take you to. Uh, Masoon Masoon was a good friend of Gary Scheider. The two had left Plainfield, New Jersey, in their teens for uh, at least Canada, but they joined a united band that was called United Soul, which had came to the attention of George Clinton, who had known Scheider as a youth in Plainfield. By 1971, Clinton had produced several tracks by United Soul with the input from the members of Funkadelic. The songs like "I Miss My Baby" and "Baby I Owe You Something Good." Yeah, that's a key word to the song. It's called "Baby I Owe You Something Good." These tracks were so released. Those songs were so released uh, as a one-off single that was by a record label that was in 1971 and had been around since the 1960s. Westbound Records, that was a Detroit-based record label that Armin Baladian had founded in 1968. But let me explain it to you, man. Westbound Records had released um, those songs as a one-off single, and it was under the group name. It was under the group name. It was called U.S. Music. It's called U.S. Music with Funkadelic. All the tracks are recorded with with Clinton in 1971 were so released by Westbound in 2009. It was as the album, this album right here. They never even showed me the image of the album. It was called U.S. Music with Funkadelic. After producing United Soul and music that they had done years ago, Clinton Clinton then invited Massoon and Scheider to join the Parliament Funkadelic Collective. The two United Soul songs were so re-recorded later Funkadelic albums with Massoon as a member of the group. Massoon was a prominent contributor to the albums by both groups like Funkadelic and Parliament from 1972 until the dissolution of the two groups while in the early 1980s, and was the featured on-stage bassist for Parliament Funkadelic. After William Earl Bootsy Collins went solo, while Collins is more widely remembered as the P-Funk bassist, Mosson's contributions were so arguably more numerous and are well regarded by the fans. Mosson have also appeared in the movie PCU, a comedy a comedy film that was so written by Adam Leff and Zach Penn. Yep, Mosson appeared on the movie PCU as himself in 1994, but his name is so spelled on the birth certificate. It says Cardell Mosson, and the name Cordell is like his son's name. A common spelling that was so in the notes for most of the Parliament Funkadelic albums that was on which that he had appeared on. Mosson Mosson is like a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, inducted in 1997 with 15 other members, alongside William Nelson Jr., Gary Scheider, William Collins, you know what I'm saying? George George Clinton, Calvin Simon, Ray Davis, Clarence Haskins, and last but not least, who was already inducted along with them, Grady Thomas. These guys were already being inducted by the late Prince Rogers Nelson, who have passed away in 2016. Masoon was also honored by the Recording Academy with a Lifetime Achievement Award Grammy in 2019 posthumously. His children and longtime partner received the award. They received the award on his behalf. Masoon died of liver failure on April the 18th, 2013. He was 60 years old. Yeah, I had to I had to put those names in the dates on there respectively. I had to do them separately. Ain't nobody go say hi to me on this live stream. Previous live stream chat, somebody always said hi to me while I was doing the news. While I was working on the news based on the death of actress what's the actress name? Hayden Panettiere. So I gotta do I gotta do what's best. I gotta do what's best for people on YouTube, and I can just do that. Oh man, Maurice, so you had to see this hat. You already saw. You like my hat? It's a Seattle Mariners hat. It's a it's like gray and black. It's a gray and black hat here. It has 30th anniversary on it. Mariners, that was from the 1970s. That's what our 1970s here. I mean the Mariners. They're like a baseball team coming from Seattle, Washington. Uh, this baseball team has been in the game for like over 49 years. Over 49 years, they have been around. You know what I'm saying? I wear all sorts of hats, so I switch hats. But had to end this live stream before I had to go get to the bathroom and get changed. The two people I'm glad to go I had to dedicate this live stream to. One is Mr. Glenn Lamont Goins. He was born on January the 2nd, 1954, and he died on July the 29th, 1978, of Hodgkin's lymphoma. Cordell Cordell Boogie Mosson. He's born on October the 16th, 1952, and he died on April the 18th, 2013, of was reported to be liver failure. But rest in peace to the fallen members of Funkadelic, Glenn Goins and Cordell Mosson. Rest in peace to the both of them. But they will surely be missed.